can I reach across the world?
How can I make striped dye?
How can I play a chord on musical glasses?
How can I get you rattled and you and you? I've got here 3 boxes, OK?
Yeah.
That one's empty. That one's empty.
Yeah.
That one is full of mints.
Yeah.
Right.
You like mints, don't you?
We love mints.
Would you like to win a box of mints?
Oh, yes.
All you got to tell me is where the box of mints is.
OK.
OK, not yet, girl. I've got to move them around first. Find the lady, where she goes. No one knows.
I know.
You know, dear, which one?
It's that one nearest me.
This one here is the one with the mints in?
Yep.
No, it's not. That's not the one with the mints in. The one with the mints in is the one at the other end.
Oh, OK.
Gareth, would you like a go?
Yes, please, yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Find the lady, where she goes. No one knows.
Oh, that was easy. It's this one.
Yes.
It's this one, is it? No, that one's empty. That one's empty. And so's that one.
What?
But this one here, attached to my wrist, is not empty at all. It's absolutely packed with peppermints. And the trick was, you see, when I was using an empty one, I used my right hand. And when I picked up one that was full of mints, I used that one there. That's the one that's full of mints. I'm going to have one now. And that's how to get you all rattled.
I can't believe I fell for that one. I'm so stupid. How stupid are sheep?
Well, they're not too bright, are
No,
they?
very dumb, actually.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to have to prove you wrong. Come and meet my flock. Hello, girls. You see, they're having a lovely time eating the grass in my field here. But to be honest with you, they'd much rather be over there in Fred's garden eating all his lovely, tasty flowers. Now, it's easy enough for me to stop my sheep from going over there. I've put up a fence. But I've got a road going right through the middle, and in order to stop the sheep from just going straight down the road, I've put in a cattle grid. Now, cattle grids are great because sheep can't cross them. Their narrow hooves get caught in the gaps between the bars, so most sheep stay away from cattle grids. I say most sheep, not all, because some sheep in Marsden in the Pennines have worked out a way of getting across. Instead of trying to walk across the bars, they simply lay down on the cattle grid like that and then do a kind of U-turn. They roll over because their back is wide enough to cross these bars, and off they go across any cattle grid. But that's not all. You see, in Hampshire, a group of sheep started working together rather like a crack squad of commandos. The first sheep lays down on the cattle grid and instead of rolling over, simply shuffles along till it's in the middle, and then all the other sheep come along and use the first sheep as a sort of woolly bridge. They climb over its back to get across the cattle grid. There you go, my dear. You enjoy those flowers. Fred won't mind at all. Then the sheep that was laying down on the cattle grid simply rolls over and joins the rest of the flock. So how stupid are sheep? Well, they're not as daft as they look, are they?
How can I make a striped dye?
Oh, when I was a lad, I was sent out looking for striped paint once. I searched every single shop in Holywell. Couldn't find any. You know why, they said? No, you could only get it in Cardiff.
There's one born every minute. Now, you can make striped dye, and I'm going to prove it to you by dyeing this piece of white fabric striped before your very eyes. You don't believe me, do you? Well, watch this. Here we have our dye solution. Right, just swirl that round for a little minute. Now, if I transfer it over to this bowl and give it a rinse. Oh, wow, this has worked really well. Would you believe it? Look at that. I have, in fact, dyed a piece of white fabric stripy.
How?
I knew you were going to ask me that, Fred, and I'm going to tell you, I cheated. First cheat is the dye in this bowl here. Although it just looks like a solution of purple dye to you and me, it is in fact made up of lots of different dyes. And I can show you with the powdered dye that it started off as. If I just sprinkle it onto this damp blotting paper, that will separate the dye out into its different components. Now, it's going to take a few minutes to completely spread out, so have a look at this one that was done earlier, and you can see it's all spread out into different colours. There's orange, purple, blue, yellow, there's pinks, there's all sorts of different colours. So that's cheat number 1. Cheat number 2 is the fabric. It's not actually just a plain piece of white fabric. It is in fact made up of lots of different materials. There's acetate, cotton, nylon, silk, polypropylene, viscose and wool. Now each of those different fabrics reacts differently with the different components of dye. So what happens is, and I'll show you again with this piece of fabric, just because I like doing it, is that the different materials react differently with the different dyes. And you get all those lovely different colours. Clever, eh? So how can I make a striped dye? By cheating, that's how.
This next how happens not here, but through here. How can a fire burn underwater? We've come to Glasgow Science Centre to find out the answer to this how. Now, everyone knows that fire and water just don't mix. You take a burning flame on a candle, put it into a tank of water, what happens? It's snuffed out. That's because the water cools the wick. It takes all the heat away from the wick, and without heat, you can't have fire. It also suffocates the flame. That is, it prevents any oxygen from getting to the flame. So you can't burn underwater. Actually, you can with one of these. It's an emergency flare, the kind of thing that you would use if you were lost at sea and you wanted to get someone's attention. Watch this. Wow, it burns really intensely. It produces an awful lot of light and a massive amount of heat. And watch what happens when I dunk it in the water. It continues to burn. It's producing so much heat that not even the water can cool it down. It's also got its own oxygen supply in the form of a powder inside the stick. The heat of the flame releases the oxygen flows out and around the flame, and that allows it to keep burning. So that's how you can burn fire underwater. Just one problem. How do you put this thing out when the how's finished?
How can I reach across the world? As you know, I'm a global, international megastar. People all over the world love me.
Oh, yes.
And to satisfy the demand for me, I've written this short tome about some of the highlights of my broadcasting career. It's called Fred Dinage, The Wonder Years.
Fred,
Gareth, I'd like you to have a copy.
Oh, me?
Gail, I'd
Brilliant,
like
mate.
you to have a copy
Am
as
I mentioned?
well.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you very much.
That'll be
Thank you.
£20 each, please.
Hey?
Fred, would you sign it for me, please?
It'd be a
Oh,
great
sign
ple-
mine, Fred.
Yeah,
Look,
sign
I
mine.
can't be in two places at once. In fact, that's why I've invented this. It's a remote book signing machine, and with this I can sign people's books all over the world. So, if you two go across the world there, to the other side of the studio, I'll show you how it works.
But, Fred, how are you going to sign our books from all the way over here?
Well, I'll show you how, you see, because with these cameras and the microphone and the screen, you can see and hear me over there. And with this machine, well, I can actually write to you. Now, Gail, if you put your book in the machine...
Book in machine,
Yes.
right, okay.
Is it in?
Yeah.
Books in machine, Fred.
Right, I'll write my autograph. For Gail, from Fred Dinage, and a kiss. And that should have been perfectly reproduced on your book in the machine get it out, have a look. It should be fairly instant, just
Okay.
like a fax machine.
Wow.
Check that out! How on earth did you manage that, Fred?
Open the door of the machine, I think you'll see. How?
Spooky.
Ingenious, isn't it? You see, and whatever I write over here is perfectly reproduced over there. For example, if I draw a zigzag, that's it, that should be perfectly reproduced. Brilliant, isn't it? Well, of course, this is only a how-to version of a real-life machine invented by a very famous Canadian author called Margaret Atwood. And Margaret, with her ingenious device, can attend book signings all over the world without ever leaving home.
Fred, do me a favour, mate. Will you sign this for me, please?
Of course, Gareth. Anything for a fan. Ha ha. Fred Dinage. There we are. Done.
Oh, you have been, mate. It says, I promise to do the washing up for the next 6 weeks. Signed, Fred Dinage.
What?
No, Fred, the programme's called How.
So, how can you reach around the world with my how-to remote book signing machine? That's how.
How can I make you spread your wings? Gareth, over here. Come on, Fred, on your feet, round the front of the table. How can I make you spread your wings? Well, you can join in at home as well. What I want you to do is grab the side of your trousers like this and pull as hard as you can. For reasons, in a few seconds, will become clear. So pull on your trousers, or if you're wearing a skirt, you can pull on your skirt. And what's happening here is, because we're pulling so hard, you're actually really using the muscles in your arms and your shoulders. Is that hard work, Fred?
Yes, I'm putting everything I can into it.
It's a lot of exercise.
It's starting to hurt.
When we let go,
What are you doing this for?
the muscles contract, and look what happens. Okay, let go and let your arms relax. And whoa!
Oh, that's weird. My arms are floating up
Your
to the...
arms float
That's
upwards.
weird.
So how can I make you spread your wings? Well, I just did.
Guys, come this way. You're going to need your arms for the next how, right?
Okay.
A how is... How can you play a chord on musical glasses? Now, raise your glasses, Fred.
Raise your glasses.
Yeah, now, you can do this at home if you've got crystal wine glasses, right? You need this particular type of glass. If you hold the base and then run your finger around the top, the glass starts to vibrate and creates this beautiful singing tone. Gail, would you like to join me?
I'll have a go. Ooh.
And you, Fred? Now, we've got a beautiful 3-note chord there, but if I wanted to play 3-note chords on my own on musical glasses, I'd either need about 25 arms and 100 fingers, or I'd need the help of 250-year-old technology. What a wonderful sound. Thomas Bloch, welcome to How To. What is this wonderful instrument you're playing?
This is a glass harmonica.
A glass harmonica. And it has a rather famous inventor, doesn't it?
Yes, it was invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1761.
Now, he's a very famous inventor. He's the guy who came up with the lightning rod, amongst other things, the lightning conductor. And he's so famous he appears on the $100 bill. So, how does it work?
Well, you just put your wet fingers on the bowls,
Yeah.
the bowl turns, and you have about 40 glasses. Here's the biggest one for the lower notes, and then...
Tiny glass for the high notes.
That's
Wow. And what kind of music do you actually play on this then?
Mainly classical music composed by Mozart, Beethoven, and many other composers.
Well, thank you for coming and showing us how to play a chord on musical glasses. Now, I know Fred and Gail and I would love to join you for a very small piece.
Here you go, Jones.
Thank you very much, guys. OK, Thomas, after you, sir. And that's
How for now.
One more
There's
time,
more.
I think.
Go on
Yeah,
then.
go on.